Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zainab Naeem, and on behalf of Sustainable Development Policy Institute, I greet you all a very warm welcome to the seminar titled Building Climate Consensus for COP29, The Road to Baku. As we all know that this year's COP29 will be convened from 11 till 22nd November in Baku. So today we gather here as key stakeholders of climate diplomacy, understanding that the success of COP29 hinges upon collaboration, innovation, and shared commitment. In this context, we are especially honored by the presence of His Excellency Mukhtar Babayev, COP29 President Designate and Minister of Ecology and Natural Resources, Azerbaijan. We are also proud to be honored by the presence of His Excellency Kaza Faradov, Ambassador of Azerbaijan to Pakistan, and Ms. Rumina Khurshid Alam, Coordinator to Prime Minister on Climate Change and Environmental Coordination. Without further ado, I request Dr. Abid Suleri, Executive Director, SDPI, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Zainab. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies on head table, representatives of youth organizations, civil society organizations, friends from media, think tanks, academia. First of all, let me express my gratitude to Madam Rumina Khurshid for turning His Excellency COP President Mukhtar Babayev's event so inclusive that it's for the first time that the broader stakeholders in Pakistan, they are getting the chance to interact with the COP President Designate. And just before coming here, we had an excellent session where the representative of CSOs, they shared their suggestions, thoughts, and ideas about COP29. So thank you, Excellencies, both of you, for providing us this opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, COP, and as I say, there is no good or bad COP. There's some COPs which, some decision in the COP which always keep us optimistic. There are many other that disappoint us, and it is not for the first time. The last 28 COPs, the summary is very simple. But I am a firm believer that the COP process is one of the processes, even if it doesn't giving us much benefit, its absence would be extremely negative. So the mere fact that this annual gathering of international community happens, to me itself is glass half full. And that's where we need to actually then create our space, and we need to bring our point of view forward so that countries like Pakistan, they can share not only their griefs, but also some of the opportunities that climate change is offering, can tap on those opportunities and can think of international collaborations. Few points that I would like to add as a preamble, and then we'll be requesting Ambassador of Republic Azerbaijan to Pakistan to give us a brief introduction of honorable guest here, and then we'll go directly to our technical talk. First thing first, and that is in Pakistan, whenever we talk of climate change, we always talk of vulnerability, which is there. We talk of victimhood, which is there. But I think there is another way of looking at it. And other way of looking at it is our indigenous climate financing. I'll start, for example, with the losses and damage in flood. It was $30 billion, 30. We were promised $10 billion worth of funding in Geneva conference. We received less than $1 billion. But Excellency, if you had a chance to visit the flood-affected areas, you will find that communities and local people with their own resources, almost 80% of them, they have now made their life as always back to normal. And in doing so, they have invested from their own saving, they have invested from their own endowments, they have borrowed from friends and families, they have sold their assets, but they have tried to adapt to the loss and damage by this flood. So the point that I'm trying to make, that at least, if not 30, if not 15, if not 20, they must have spent at least $10 billion in order to get their life back to normal. And when we go to COPs, I think we need to highlight this point, that it's not only that the developing countries and the vulnerable countries, we are at a receiving end, and we are trying to seek sympathies from developed nation. We have put our share on table, and according to the principles of shared but the proportionate responsibilities and capacities, we have done much more than what our capacity is. And that's where we would like to see the loss and damage fund and the additional quantitative financial goal in COP29. The second quick point that I wanted to highlight here is the whole agenda of climate financing vis-a-vis the modus operandi of dispersing the funds. And although loss and damage fund is now parked with the World Bank, it was a compromise solution. But one would like, and one would use, Excellency, your good office to press upon International Financial Institute not to make the process of accessing these funds as cumbersome as getting loans or grants or help from IMF or World Bank or ADB. We are talking of emergency here, climate emergency. And climate emergency, response to climate emergency, that can't be conditional, and that can't be linked with a full tick box that each of us we have to fulfill before we can actually get access to these funding. And I hope your office would be taking care of it. And the third and final point, and then I'll conclude. And this is the support that Pakistan can provide to our brotherly country and brotherly nation, Azerbaijan. As you have just seen in half an hour, the potential that exists on climate change negotiation, the technical expertise and the energies among youngsters. So using the office of very dynamic ambassador in Islamabad, we will like to get some of these groups connected to their counterparts in Azerbaijan, so that in the run-up to COP, but after COP, these youngsters, the technical experts, the entrepreneurs, they can talk to their counterparts, and they can take the climate resilient agenda forward. Once again, I thank you both to Madam Rumina Khurshid and Excellency COP President Mr. Mukhtar Babeo for providing us this opportunity to interact directly with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suleri, for highlighting the fact that we are in a state of climate emergency, and climate finance should be based upon the principles of climate justice. And we have done more than what we were required under the principle of shared but differentiated responsibilities. So now I would like to invite His Excellency Hazar Faradov, Ambassador of Azerbaijan to Pakistan, for his introductory remarks. Please, sir.
Excellencies, here my brother Abid, all participants, very good afternoon. Thank you very much today for joining us. We already started this talks with you when it is announced that Azerbaijan going to host COP29. We are very honored that was chosen to host COP29, but we understand also great responsibility that comes with it. Of course, everybody knows that we have limited time for preparation for COP29. As you know, in all previous cases, the host countries started their preparation more than a year in advance. But I would like to say you that 2024 marks the year of solidarity for a green world in Azerbaijan. Hosting and presiding COP recognize Azerbaijan's endeavors in addressing climate change and not only at national, but also at regional and global scales. And just, I will not take your much time. I will open this, I will leave time to you, but I would like to just ensure you that building on our successful track record of being a bridge between global north and south, especially during our recently concluded chairmanship to the non-aligned movement, under the leadership, inshallah, COP29 also will be yet another platform bringing together countries with different level of development. I wish all you success in your engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the introductory remarks. And we do look forward to cooperating more with your embassy for strengthening climate action and the brotherly bond between Pakistan and Azerbaijan. Now, I would like to request Mr. Meena Khurshid Alam, Coordinator to Prime Minister on Climate Change and Environmental Coordination, for the special remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And Assalamu alaikum, and my most special and humble regards to Excellency Mukhtar Babai, the President of COP29 and Minister for Ecology and Natural Resources, Republic of Azerbaijan. Excellency, our very dear brother, the Ambassador of Azerbaijan, Dr. Abid Qayyum Suleri, all the diplomats, people from dignitaries, friends of from media. I don't call the media people the media beat reporters. I call them that they are the media action force of mine. And then, of course, all the youngsters, very young people who are over here, and all the ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum once again. For me, it's a great honor to welcome Excellency Babai in Pakistan. His visit shows the importance of the COP29 presidency give to Pakistan. We are brotherly countries. Pakistan and Azerbaijan enjoy strong bilateral relations rooted in mutual respect, cooperation, and shared interests. Our economic ties continue to grow, inshallah, with collaborations with sectors such as energy, trade and infrastructure, development, cultural exchange between our nations further strengthen the bonds of friendship and understanding. Beside the shared interests, both Pakistan and Azerbaijan also share commonalities in terms of geography, climate challenges, and aspirations of sustainable development. Despite being geographically distant, our nations are united by a shared commitment to addressing climate change and promoting environmental sustainability. Excellency, Pakistan extends its full support to Azerbaijan as it prepares to host the UNFCCC COP29 in 2024. We recognize Azerbaijan's leadership in the global fight against climate change and commend its efforts to create a platform for meaningful dialogue and action. Pakistan stands ready to collaborate with Azerbaijan to ensure the success of COP29 and advance the global climate agenda. Climate justice is a fundamental principle that guides Pakistan's approach to climate action. We emphasize the importance of addressing the disproportionate impacts of climate change on vulnerable communities, including those in developing countries. Pakistan's call for equality, fairness, and solidarity in international climate efforts to ensure the burden of climate change is shared equally among nations. Pakistan asserts the right to development for developing countries, recognizing their legitimate aspiration for economic growth, poverty, and improved living standards. Last year, COP29 closed with an agreement that signals the beginning of the end, the fossil fuel era, and laid the ground for a swift, just, and equitable transition through deep emissions cuts and scaled-up finance. However, we all know that the progress on these decarbonization commitments have been slower than required by science. Pakistan, like rest of the world, is suffering in the consequences of this lack of action from the rich fossil fuel-based economies in the form of floods, droughts, heat waves, crop failures, and pandemics. Ladies and Excellency, we urge developed countries to fulfill their commitments to provide financial and technological support to developing nations to facilitate their transition to low-carbon climate resilient economies. We believe that developed countries, which have historically contributed the most to the greenhouse gas emissions, should take the lead in addressing climate change and supporting developing nations in their mitigation and adaptation affairs. Pakistan advocates for an effective negotiation process at COP29 based on the principles of common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capacities. We are mindful of the fact that even the recent G7 commitments to phase out fossil fuels by 2025 are insufficient and limited to unbeaten coal. And we do little to reduce emissions in required time frame to hold the rapidly disappearing 1.5 degree Celsius warming limit. Stressing upon developed world to do more in terms of emission reduction, fulfilling their financial commitments for climate action and technology transfer. Let me reiterate that Pakistan wants to move away from fossil fuel. That will only be possible if there is international cooperation for a just energy transition. Excellency, in line with principle of climate justice and common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capacities, we calls for an international treaty for just energy transition that will ultimately lead to fossil fuel phase out. Excellency, I hope under your leadership, and I'm very much hopeful, as I have been from last 2 days, we can achieve the goals of climate justice. Pakistan looks forward to deepening its collaboration with Azerbaijan on climate-related issues, including capacity building, technology transfers, and knowledge sharing. We believe that through joint efforts and partnerships, we can achieve our shared goals of mitigating climate change. We are protecting the environment and securing sustainable future for generations to come. Both Pakistan and Azerbaijan have the opportunity to explore additional areas of cooperation, such as renewable energy development, ecosystem conservation, and climate-smart agriculture. By leveraging our respective strengths and resources, we can amplify our impact and contribute meaningful to global climate action. At the end, I once again thank you for visiting Pakistan and providing us the opportunity to host you, and not only to host you, in fact, I'm really honored and thankful the way it's the first ever time that any president of the COP, they have interacted so much with the people, with the civil society, with youngsters, and with all from the private sector and corporate sector. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Once again, thank you very much and wish you all the good luck.
Thank you very much, Madam Ramina, for advocating the case of Pakistan and for sharing about the commitments that Pakistan would like Azerbaijan to further the commitments and how we can advance climate action and how this COP29 can be seen as another beacon of hope, but not just that, but also something that, the action where action gets materialized. And we do look forward to the cooperation between Pakistan and Azerbaijan for COP29. Now, I would like to request Dr. Khalid Waleed, Research Fellow at SDPI, for a brief presentation sharing about the way forward for energy transition and climate action, lessons for COP28 and informing COP29. Over to you, Dr. Khalid.
Directly go to recommendations.
Yep. Yeah, if you could please. Okay. Thank you so much, Excellency. these were some of the declaration made in COP28, mainly. Thank you. These were some of the declaration made in COP28, mainly about just transition, tripling and doubling energy, renewable energy and energy efficiency, and this coalition about CHAMPS, that is multi-level, multi-tier partnerships, and declaration on hydrogen. Another thing that was important in COP28, it was first global stocktake, which stated that there is a glaring gap between emission reductions, and we are falling short about 20.3 to 23.9 gigatons of CO2. So we need to cater for these gaps as well. The critical role of finance, technology, and capacity building to enable effective climate action was highlighted. The historical context and climate injustice was recognized. And lastly, the role of non-state actors, civil society, private sector, local communities, particularly youth, was recognized as well. This is the fixed objective of COP29. There is a moral duty to avoid overshooting the 1.5 degrees centigrade, but the window of opportunity is decreasing, closing, investing today to save tomorrow. And the basic agenda or fixed objective is to leave no one behind. From this COP29, there is a combination or joint sort of thing to transform ambition into action. And this ambition is to enhance climate ambition, plus enable the action in terms of critical role of finances. The restrictions or bottlenecks are political economy, fossil fuel-based economies, differences, conflicts, inefficiencies, and non-alignment of global financial architecture with climate-smart sort of initiatives. Three things. First is just energy transition. Just energy transition is not just without revamping the current financial architecture, particularly the World Bank and IMF. Loan-based financing kill the purpose of this just energy transition. Secondly, the role of technologies, technology transfer, capacity building is vital, particularly for labor-intensive countries like Pakistan. Lastly, in just energy transition, the role of RE critical minerals and early retirement of coal power plants, that would be very quintessential if you talk about informing the COP29. Second thing that is important in terms of COP29, it is the carbon markets and the matter of equality or equitable development. As we all know that there was no agreement in COP28 on carbon markets. What we suggest is that carbon markets, they should be linked with equitable development, with high quality carbon credits issuance and integrity-based carbon credits. Another thing that may be important in regard of COP29 is the issue of coal to clean credit initiative that might trigger the early retirement of coal-based asset, particularly for developing countries like Pakistan. Third important thing, that is the last thing, we talked about it in very detailed. It is the intergenerationality aspect of climate change. If you see this graph, you'll see income consumption on y-axis and age is on x-axis. You'll see that in the youth age, you save a lot to consume it in your older age after retirement. What is happening in Pakistan? There is youth bulge, there is demographic dividend, there is lower dependency right now if we sort of harness this demographic dividend. But if you see, there are climate shocks, and whenever there is a climate shock, you sort of invest your savings in order to rebuild, rehabilitate. And when there is less saving induced by climate shocks, there would be less available for this saving in the retirement age. And when this youth bulge will be retired in Pakistan, there would be more population of dependent people. That would be intergenerationality adverse impact of climate change, of climate shocks. Just to give you some number, into 2022, you all aware, there was floods in Pakistan, about 30 billion USDs were lost. The saving rate around that time was 10% of total GDP. And Pakistan's GDP at that time was 300 billion, which means 30 billion USD total saving of a year was lost due to 2022 flood. This is for the whole economy, but the flood came into the areas which were more economically vulnerable, which means Pakistan's total 1 year saving of all the people as compared to the GDP was lost due to 2022. So we lost the savings of an entire year due to one flood. What is the way forward? We need to revamp or realign the global financial architecture of climate justice. We need to ensure new collective quantified goals, and we need to sort of have technology transfer and make it more inclusive. We need to use chaos as a ladder so that no one is left behind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khalid. And without any further ado, I would now like to request His Excellency Mukhtar Babayev, COP29 President Designate and Minister of Ecology and Natural Resources, Azerbaijan, to please, being a chief guest, share your remarks.
Dear friends, colleagues, sisters and brothers, Salam alaikum. Thank you for this opportunity to meet you. And first of all, again, thanks from my side to organizers to provide this chance, because we requested it, to meet with society representatives, NGOs, youth, activists, and at least have the chance to hear the expectations, talk on different problematics and different issues already mentioned here. And these 2 days we have very good opportunity to talk with the different stakeholders, state representatives, private sector, international organizations. Yesterday, we met also with the leadership of the country, with the president of the country, with the prime minister of the country. And I think it is a very good chance for today for us to talk to you. And on the initial stage, we met with several representatives of society, and already they addressed me some questions, some comments, and I will try to be very clear. At the same time, please note that the COP29 team will try to collect all the parties to find the common decision, to find the consensuses. It is not so easy task to find the conclusion between 200 countries. But I think, at least for our team, today is a chance to hear your expectations, your worries, your concerns. Especially last 6 months, we traveled a lot to different countries, to different continents, and have so much meetings with the different parties, different stakeholders. It is very important for us to absorb each idea, each priority, each signal from the countries, especially relating to the different cases, accidents, disasters. It's very important to know how COP29 team can coordinate these activities You know, the main topics for COP29 in Baku this November are the new collective quantified goals, the operationalization of the loss and damage fund, the Article 6 of the agreement of Paris Agreement, and other issues. It does not mean that all our activities are around the financial issues. We also will have on our agenda all the issues relating to the very urgent initiatives like water efficiency, the water issues totally, generally, the land degradation issues, plastic wastes and how to manage this situation with the plastic wastes, agriculture, how to transit to the green agriculture, how it's possible to do it in different countries, food security, food issues, health issues. We have 2 days long discussions with the Madame Ramina regarding today each sector or each part of our life is very close to the climate, integrated to the climate. They were here and we discussed the youth and climate. Yesterday, we discussed in other issues. Also, if you remember, you mentioned that the marathon, you organized marathon, and how the climate and marathon can also integrate it, and what kind of the efficiency, in this case, the young, especially young generation can hear the voices of vulnerable countries, especially, is big importance for us. Azerbaijan is also vulnerable country, and as I know, most of you are thinking that Azerbaijan is the only big oil and gas producer, but Azerbaijan is only 20% of our territories is under oil and gas production. Other territories, agriculture. Half of the populations are living in the villages. And we have big agriculture sector. And all the issues relating the water, relating the land degradation, heat or hot waves, strong winds, different disasters, the reduction of the snow caps, snow reserves, on the mountains, and others. There are a lot of things. First of all, the main area of the influence or impact is agriculture sector. Social life, social sector, this big sector of the impact coming from the climate change. In our case, the Caspian Sea fluctuations of the level of the Caspian Sea last 20 years, the reduction of the level of the water is around 2 meters. 2 meters less water than 25 years ago. Please imagine the situation within the 5 Caspian countries. And we understand that only together, only with the regional or all possible consolidation of the activities, we can find appropriate, correct way to at least to prevent, if it's possible, if not to adaptate. Adaptation measures, I think it is a very important part of our work. You know, the countries needs to prepare the national adaptation plan. And I think one of our priority to call the countries to prepare this very important for the country documents. Another one for COP29 team, task for 2024 is transparency reports, the BTRs, the biennial transparency report. The first time countries needs to submit to UNFCCC, and now we understand that it is the document is a bit complicated than previous one, and we need to work together to assist the countries to prepare this document. Within this, we organized on 13th and 14th of May the first round of workshops to prepare the country to make the necessity consultations to submit, to prepare, and then till the end of this year submit this document. Also, this transparency report will play a big role as an argument for the mitigation program, for finance of the mitigation program from the donor countries, or the donors. And I think this the readiness of the countries to prepare such documents, such important documents like National Adaptation Plan, like BTR, like other documents which very important to clarify the picture of the mitigation process. I think it is very important challenge for, and also chance for the countries. Different our friends, colleagues addressed us the issue regarding the how to make operationally the loss and damage fund. We understand how is important this issue. And it is one of the task for COP29 team to invite all the countries to talk about it, to find a decision. In this, Azerbaijan initiated the third seminar in Baku in September this year. And we will try to find the very good, we will provide the very good conditions for the countries, for the participants to come to Baku and to discuss how to make this process more transparent, more fast, more effective, and be sure that our team will work and we will do our best to find the consensus between the countries. Understand that the figures which already discussed are not enough. The Loss and Damage Fund established in 2022, and now already different countries make their readiness to contribute. We understand that this money is not enough to compensate or to cover all the losses. But again, for our team and for all the world, for all the countries, it is a good opportunity in Baku to discuss these issues, to invite all possible participants to use this chance to demonstrate their readiness for the consolidation of this contribution. Azerbaijan is the country, I think, geographical allocation of the country, on the crossroad between the south and north, between the west and east. And we would like to play the role of the interconnector or bridge between the countries, between the continents, between the developing and developed worlds and developed countries. If you see that all the countries can delegate of these responsibilities to one country and this country will find a solution, no, we need to work all together. Today we are here in Pakistan. Tomorrow I address this call to you. The day after tomorrow I will be in other country and also will say that we need your help. We need your assistance because without the consolidation of the activities, it will be not easy to find the positive outcomes from this very serious, very challengeable climate agenda. The COP29, we would like to see all stakeholders in Baku. We already announced that Baku COP will be a COP of transparency and inclusivity. We would like to see all the categories, all stakeholders. Especially would like to hear the voices of society, NGOs, society representatives, youth are very important. We met with several observers and society representatives already. They have own, each country, each organization has own approaches, own requests, and we would like to be ready at least to collect, to hear all these voices for the next discussions with the countries. The private sector and their participation in the climate agenda, I think it's very important to invite private sector more actively invest to the mitigation process. That's why another one part of our work, it will be to provide the necessary platforms and to invite the private sector to participate in all these programs. One of the questions addressed to me, how the private sector can initiate or participate in different discussions or initiate some ideas, priorities. We are ready as a host country to provide all necessary conditions on physical, also by hybrid, online, video, and other bases. And it is very important for us to do it in Baku because we understand that the private sector will play more and more role in especially mitigation process in different countries. In April this year, we had a chance to participate in the special session in Washington to meet with MDBs, international financial institutes, different private sector representatives. And we also hear their expectation, how they see this process, how their readiness to participate, to contribute more activities in the climate agenda. I think all this year, within this year, we will continue negotiation with the parties. at least to provide the transparent and effective dialogue between the different countries and different parties. A very serious issue regarding how we can in Baku, it's not too big city, not too big country, how we can organize such important event. It's already several times the different parties they address this question to me. Azerbaijan is preparing for this event from the technical point of view also. Now a lot of things, a lot of preparation made by different organizations between from the different state entities. Our society representatives are working very hard to be the active part of the COP29. And we would like to also to build this good connection between our society representatives and your communities to discuss all these issues. And today we already agreed that our youth climate champion and high-level climate champion will organize several rounds of the consultations with you to discuss all these priorities which you mentioned. Very important things regarding the skills education, green education. Also, our friends and colleagues address this question to us. We have also one initiative related to green education, green skills or smart skills. How it is very different chance to call it, but for all of us, we understand that smart already have the big weight of green initiatives, green growth activities. Today, without the green sector, green growth, to think about the smart is very difficult. We need to, it is a symbiosis of several approaches, and big part of these approaches are related to the green growth. And we would like to talk about it more. We have very effective ways. We would like to know also your experience in this sphere. And just the day before yesterday, we met with several universities in Baku and asked them also to assist us to organize this good interface between the universities, schools, colleges, and other possible way to find any possible ways to discuss with the parties, with the countries, the ways of cooperation in this field. Renewable energy is one of the, the priority and one of the consensus made in COP28 is tripling of renewable energy, double of energy efficiency. I think it is very important, two very important programs, which we also, I think it is for COP29 team, also very big part of our work will deliver how to provide the implementation, how to at least discuss with the countries how they're planning to do it, because different countries has different capacities. It is not so easy to say, but countries needs to have the capacity to do it. I mean, specialists to do it, infrastructure to do it, finance to do it. And we we have this chance, but we need to consider each country separately, because each country of the group countries have the separate conditions to do, separate challenges, separate financial capacities to do it. That's why we need to think how to make it practically. We need to follow up these initiatives, these good and very important decisions. And when we're talking about the energy, to doubling energy efficiency, another very, very important thing that we need to be ready also to reduce our own consumption. It is also important, not only the the companies, government, state entities, but also the citizens needs to take part of this very important process, and is very related to how the communities, how the people are ready to do it in this schedule. In the presentation you made several minutes ago, very important information about your vision, how to use this chance to make the successful COP in Baku, how to continue the process made in the past, not only in COP28, but other COPs also. It is very important to think and to call the countries also to fulfill the promises made in 28 COPs, because if we consider and will monitor these promises, hundreds of promises, how we fulfill it, it is also a big question and big call to all the countries. If we will follow our promises, I think it will be more easy to take new obligations. I think it is very important. We're already trying to discuss these issues with all the countries, all the participants, all the parties. Let's monitor our obligation in the past. The past promises. And unfortunately, it is not so good task to monitor or audit the previous decisions, or how the countries, how the parties perform it. But I think one of the important part of the implementation of climate agenda is also responsibility of the countries with the already accepted promises, accepted targets. I'll check with my list of the questions. Regarding the technology transfer, very important issue. You addressed this question to me, and I think it is without technology transfer, without support of developed countries and leaders in the technology, it will be very difficult to perform the obligations. Today, everything already planned is related to the different technologies. And access of access the countries to these technologies, I think it is one of the main question which the countries deliver to us. How the developed world are ready to share with the technologies. I think it is also a good chance to discuss in Baku these issues. In Azerbaijan, we have, the very short story about the oil and gas history in Azerbaijan. We have the first oil extraction or oil production started in our country. It was in 1847, in the mid of 19th century. First well drilled by mechanical method, performed in Baku, is 10 kilometers from the center of the sea. Then the first storage, first pipeline, first very primitive for that time oil refinery, first vessel, the oil tanker, also delivered oil from Baku to the north part of the Caspian Sea, also built in Azerbaijan by different companies. Understand that the fossil fuel countries, fossil fuel producing countries, we understand that we need to be the part of this process. We need to be the leader of some big projects, especially in the transition sphere, in renewable energy projects in different parts of the world. And we have the big potential in Azerbaijan for the green growth. And the country in the past, famous like oil and gas country, today turned the economy to the green direction. We implementing a lot of programs, a lot of priorities accepted by the countries in our state programs. And we would like to share with this experience with other countries also. I think for me today, it's a very good chance. Also, maybe in my comments, you have not the clarification for all the questions you made, but part of these questions is the subject of the discussions. You several times asked me the figures. I cannot share with any figures because, again, it is the subject of the negotiations, subject of the discussions between the parties. How we will do it, urgency of these issues, I think I tried to make the comments to, maybe not to all, but the part of the questions. But our team is promised that we will do our best, do all the best to perform this important task for COP29. Thank you very much for your very honest and frank questions, comments, presentations. For me, it's a big honor to be here together with you, to hear you, to discuss with you different issues, to comments to your questions. And again, thanks for organizers for this very important event for me, for our team, and special thanks also for the Embassy of Azerbaijan in Pakistan. Our ambassador tried to make these meetings, all the meetings within these 2 days short visit, very effective. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And I think not just it's my opinion, but I believe the audience sitting here must also be thinking the same, that the COP29 agenda seems very dynamic, seems very promising, and we are very much hopeful that this year Azerbaijan is going to have a COP29 that will ensure that global climate diplomacy gets on track for strengthening climate action. And also, one must realize actually that COPs are not something that, they can, COP presidencies cannot ensure that climate crisis will be solved, but they are rather providing a platform to all the stakeholders globally that this climate crisis, we do have hope, we do have, a promise that this climate action will be strengthened, and we can hope for a positive future for the next generation, and even for this generation, because this is, if we do not act now, we are in a state of climate emergency. So thank you so much. I now request Dr. Shafkat Munir, Deputy Executive Director of SDPI, for the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you is a very formal thing, and I would like to thank Honorable Minister and President Designate to COP29, Mr. Mukhtar Bayof, because I would like to thank because you have chosen Pakistan among a few countries to visit, and that shows your warmth and love with the people of Pakistan, and that's why our people have shown love to you here. They are here on Saturday in your love, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for raising a couple of things and listening to civil society in Pakistan, and particularly asking the governments of the world that they should prepare for the documentation. Sir, as Pakistan has already had its document, which is National Adaptation Plan 2023, I just like to want to add that another document is ready, which is Pakistan's new flood plan 2024, which will be launched soon by the Prime Minister. And that plan has all nature-based solution, how Pakistan can protect from the floods. So thank you very much for raising that. And thank you for your love. And I would like to thank here Brother Khizr Faradov, the ambassador of the, yeah. Just we are skipping it. Yeah. So thank you very much for supporting for the very first day when it was declared at COP28 that next Baku will be hosting it. Immediately SDPI and the embassy sat together and we had a full plan, which see that at the minister and president level we have organized this event. So thank you very much, brother, for your all support to SDPI in this journey, and hope until the COP will be continuing our support. I would like to thank Ms. Rumina Khurshid Alam Sahaba, the coordinator for Prime Minister on Environment, for putting all efforts together and taking the agenda of Pakistan climate change forward. Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Abid, for providing leadership, vision, and support to the team here, all of us. And thank you all the audience, for you especially on Saturday, all the youth, women groups, NGOs, INGOs, they came all together to see the His Excellency and listen to him. Thank you very much. And we have a shield here for the Excellency. Dr. Abid Suleri, may I request an Honorable Minister, sir.
Please, if you can all remain seated. पीछे झगड़े पड़ गए हैं प्रभावित कह रहे हैं वसुंधरा किसी को लोग हम सवाल किए बगैर
मीडिया टॉक कर रहे हैं
मीडिया टॉक
मीडिया का मसला हो गया पहुंच गया ना
असल में होना तो यही चाहिए वैसे मीडिया वो मना नहीं